Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Sense of Humor's podcast where we talk anything pop culture or anything that interests us. We're your host, Griffin Shock or Travis, and I'm also here with my buddy, Multimite or Tyler.
What's up, everybody?
So, before we just get straight into it, let's talk more like pop culture stuff or anything that's happened personally in our life since the last episode that you would like to share.
Awesome. I mean, so yeah, we got current events, and then I got like one cool thing that happened to me, like outside of the podcast. But how about you first? I'll let you go first since I got a couple of things here.
Um,
Anything new or exciting?
Not much. I mean, I started my new job. I'm about a week and a half into it. I'm a
Nice,
mechanic
nice, nice.
for anyone
The
who's
I was
curious.
gonna say your dream job too, right?
It's one of them. I originally started detailing because I wanted to work up to working on the cars.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm finally able to, which granted it's a lot more difficult and a lot more frustrating than I would have imagined. But I do like it. I do find it fun. Um, It's pretty interesting. It's pretty cool. A lot of things I didn't know about the cars were possible to do. Um, but leading towards the mechanic part, today, for example, I was changing oil on a car, which is
Mm-hmm.
not that difficult. But somebody left a metal can in the oil pan where it drips them because it's one of those tall ones. It's not the ones you just slide under the car. It's one of those like pipe tall ones. Um,
So you have to like
and
jack up the car or something.
well, yeah, you had to put the car on a lift and you lift the car up and then you roll
Oh,
it
okay.
underneath and then you like twist a knob to raise up like the pipe so therefore the oil can drip into it.
Yeah.
So anyways, I don't know who it was in the shop, but they left a metal can dead center of of this thing and you can't see it when you're lifting it up. Like it's once it's up, you can't really see in there. You just unscrew the drain plug for the oil and it just pours out, which is how it's supposed to
Okay.
go. And, anyways, so I'm unscrewing the cap with my one finger blindly because I can't see it, but I have to feel it. And I unscrewed it, and felt the oil come out. And I go, okay, okay, cool, sweet, it's coming out, awesome. And next thing I know, I look up because I felt something like my forehead get wet, and I go, oh no. And I looked up, and
Uh-oh.
the oil bounced off the metal can and like flew out like a fountain, and I'm just like coated in oil. My face is all brown. My arms are like dark brown, and the floor is
Oh.
covered in oil. So I move the pan real quick and I readjust it, and everyone in the shop just stops, turns, and stares at me. And I go, "Why don't you take a picture? It'll last longer." But apparently it happens to everybody, and they were like, so every time I come into work, they're like, "Is today the day?" And I go, "I hope not," but it was the day.
Damn. Yeah, no, that's unfortunate because I remember my brother, um, he helped me change my oil because he has those little, uh, like those things that like you can put your car's two front tires on, so that way it's
Mm-hmm.
like elevated, and then yeah, and then he has like one of those oil bins that it can drip into. So he helped me change my oil, and yeah, that's gotta hurt too, because oil's warm. Like it gets really warm, and you
Yeah,
know, like
it's actually hot oil.
yeah.
It's usually
Did
not
you
cold.
you didn't get it in your eyes, did you?
No, I have my glasses on, so my glasses were covered in oil, like coated in oil,
Okay. I was
which
gonna say
isn't
that.
great either, but it's better than my eyes. So,
I was gonna say it's better than becoming Daredevil, I guess. But
I mean,
um,
if that happens, I won't complain.
listen, man, I don't know if a blind old man is gonna come and teach you how to use your abilities or whatever. So
I
I
will
wouldn't
hire
go
one.
around. I wouldn't go around, purposely trying to blind yourself. But yeah, no, I mean, I get that though.
Yeah.
Like I hate screwing up at work. Like obviously that one wasn't your fault because, like you said, someone left the metal can in there, so that was on them.
Hmm.
But yeah, like I hate messing up and then people thinking it's my fault when it's not, or if it is my fault. Like I just hate all eyes on me when I mess up because it's, well, A, it's embarrassing, and B, it's just like it's a terrible feeling to like, yeah, have all eyes on you, and kind of like what you said, you just can't help but be bitter about it and just be like, all right, well, take a picture if you're so interested or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
so
Like I wasn't trying to be bitter or mean. It's just like I didn't know what else to say. Like I
I
couldn't think
mean,
of anything,
you had scalding freaking oil on your
Oil.
face. I'd be mad too.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't blame you for being upset. Like any reasonable person would be like, "Oh hell, like oh that sucks" or something, like so I don't think anyone would blame you for being upset. In fact, I bet all your coworkers were like, "Damn, he got it the day," like, and like you said, it's happened to all of them, so like it just happens.
Oh
Like
yeah.
in fact, my one of my mistakes was earlier this week. Luckily, it wasn't a big mistake, but it almost was. So,
Oof.
when you jack up a car, like if you use just like normal um, hand jacks or whatever they're called
Hmm.
to lift the car with by the pinch weld, because some cars can't use a lift or whatever
Yeah.
have you, like Teslas can't use lifts
No.
because their technology and stuff underneath is super, sensitive, I guess. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
I don't think it's as protected as like a normal cars.
They're not. It's
But
just a
anyway,
plastic coat underneath. Yeah.
I was gonna say but so when you jack up three, for most cars at least, three of the four wheels, sometimes the fourth wheel or tire or whatever will be off the ground.
Hmm.
So, like, and this happens to a lot of people at my job, but they'll think it's jacked up because it's in the air. So, it's like, okay, well, I can take this off. So I bolted it off. I started, like taking off the tire and everything. And then I hear someone from behind me, Tyler, jack up your side. And I'm like, what? And I turn around and the bearings is almost touching the ground. Like, and I
Ooh.
like quickly grabbed my jack and yeah, I got it up off the ground. And to be fair, I wasn't originally on that team. They like kind of shifted me over because we were losing people um, a little bit earlier than we thought. So I joined their team to help and everything. And then
Okay.
that happened because, like, and I mean, yes, it was my fault. Like, I can't, like, put anyone's blame except myself. But it was, you know, like, it was also scary and, like, I felt bad. And,
Yeah.
it's also annoying, too, because, like, I get pissed when I mess up, like, mostly at myself, but sometimes I'll take it out on someone, like usually not a coworker. It'll probably, well, it will be a coworker, but like it usually won't be like in an angry, like aggressive way. It'll just be like I'm quiet, I'm monotone, I don't want to talk to anybody anymore. Like I don't know. It's just
Hmm.
that weird social thing of like I've done something wrong, all eyes are on me. Everyone knows I made a mistake. Like it's just embarrassing, and and if anyone can relate, yeah, definitely comment
Yeah.
below because that's just a rough thing. But for me though, funny enough, because we've been talking about cars, I actually finally got a new one, and I am so freaking excited. Like I got it yesterday.
Ooh. Okay.
It was like afternoon. I got it yesterday. And admittedly, like the whole way home, I was trembling because I was like, "Don't get in a car crash! Don't get in a car crash!" Because there's a freeway to the dealership that we went to, so like, and how many idiots there are on the road. I wouldn't put it past my own luck to mess up the car I just bought and
Yeah.
registered it and everything. But yeah, no, I'm super excited. I'll actually send you a picture later, but
Okay.
yeah, no, I'm super excited.
It's actually really cool
Um,
though.
yeah, no, I'm gonna customize the crap out of that car. Like I'll be posting pictures of it on Instagram once I get it finished, but like I have so many ideas on what I want to do with that car. And it's a more modern car too, so it's got the more modern. I wouldn't say sporty look because I bought a sedan, and so it's got a slim trim and everything, and
Oh yeah,
it just so.
just looks
But
sleek.
yeah, and I don't mean to like yeah push that in anybody's faces. I just I thought it'd be fun to bring up because it's an exciting thing. Like
Yeah, it's cool.
like
Is a
it's
cool thing for you. Like it's something that you deserve, and it's really cool to have. It's exciting. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, like I think the reason why it's so exciting is because it's the first car that I put a loan on, like my parents bought the first car that I've been driving for a while now, and then they gave it to me so that I could use it for work and other things. And I would pay, I would pay the car off, I would pay insurance, or in fact, I did pay insurance, and I'm now paying insurance on my new car, obviously, but like that's because it was all me. Like I was the one that registered or not registered, but like the dealership got it registered for me. Anyway, I got a loan. I got like it was a really big step for me. Like I think it's exciting, and I imagine everyone had the same feeling when buying their first car or whatever. I'm sure you had the same feeling as well,
Oh yeah.
Travis, but so like it's just exciting. Like it's fun to think that like it's something that I have
Is
to take
you?
care of. It's my responsibility, and like I'm happy that I get to take care of something that I put money into, and yeah, and I'm gonna put a whole lot more money into it, like going forward. But moving past my car, so this week, the Minecraft movie dropped, and as we
Oh,
both we were very. In fact, I think it was one of our first episodes. We were very,
skeptical
what's the
on
word?
it.
Yeah, we were very skeptical. And surprisingly, okay, so I got two kind of mixed reviews. So my brother, he gave it a 7 out of 10. He thought it was
Okay.
great. He loved it. Um, for those of you who don't know, the guy who directed Napoleon Dynamite or Nacho Libre, and if you haven't seen either of those films, you're missing out. But go out and watch them. It's got that kind of humor in it. So the very dry, very awkward humor, but in a funny
Oh,
way. Like I love Napoleon Dynamite. I love Nacho Libre. They're both hilarious films. So I am actually going to give the Minecraft movie a chance. I will go and see
okay.
it, and I'll give my own review when I do next podcast or whatever. But my friend, who I'm writing the comic with, I asked him what he thought because he saw it as well, and he said it was a fun movie, but not like a favorite. Like it wasn't like top tier,
Mm,
like next big
okay.
thing.
I get
So
that.
you got
Yeah.
like I was gonna say, so like he liked it, but he didn't like love it, kind of thing. And I didn't expect to love it either. I feel like at the most I'd like it for the humor, because I think comedy's like some of the best types of media,
Yeah.
and I would love to explore that in my own videos and streams and stuff. Um,
Like
it,
I personally just like I'm gonna see it regardless, even if I have skepticism on it. I'm still gonna watch it because I love Minecraft and I think it's cool that they're doing a movie about it. But I just don't like how they combined, you know, a pixel game that's set on literal squared pixels and combined it with
yeah,
reality, which reality and that don't really go well together. But if they, I mean, I've seen several fan Minecraft videos and they look really cool. But like, I think it's all right. I think it's a cool concept. I guess it's a cool idea. But I'm really happy they did it because of two reasons. One, the popcorn buckets are really cool.
oh,
Two,
are they?
yeah, they're really cool. Two, I know you don't like how Minecraft compliant. What's this called? Minecraft did had a collaboration with McDonald's. Um, but
Oh, I didn't mind that part. I just thought it was weird. Like it
yeah,
was just goofy.
Yeah, like I like it because the toys that you get with the adult Happy Meals give you like you get a toy and then you get a card and there's a code on the back of it. And if you enter the code on Minecraft, you actually get the skin of the toy. And sometimes
Oh,
yeah, and then there's another one where you get like there's a Minecraft helmet, but it's like a pop like a French fries, but you actually get that as like a wearable item in the game. Like they're actual in-game like items, and I think that's really cool.
yeah, no, that part's cool. Like I feel the same way about like Call of Duty because like Call of Duty, they collabed with both Little Caesars, which I used to like, but then I got sick like the day after and threw it all back up. So I no longer like Little Caesars, unfortunately. But I still do like Monster Energy, and they collabed with Monster Energy as
Yeah.
well. You can get calling cards, you can get emblems, you can get skins if you enter those codes. And I love those kinds of, games where, you can experience something you love in real life and then get a reward digitally through enjoying something you love in real life. So I do agree with you on that. I do like that. And I think that's cool. I didn't know that they actually had little codes that you can, unlock in-game rewards. That's really cool. And maybe I'll maybe I'll get the meal tonight if they're not sold out because apparently my brother and his friends tried to go get the Minecraft meal at a McDonald's last night and they were all out. Like, and I was like
What?
amazed. Yeah, that's like crazy to think. But I understand. Like, I definitely get it. It was the night of release and or day of release technically. Friday is the day, Thursday's the night of release. So, um, but moving on from the Minecraft movie, there was two trailer slash sneak peeks, I guess. So the first one is obviously the sneak peek of Superman, and I'm
Ooh.
assuming that's why you chose your topic for today, and I'm excited to, you know, speak on that.
I'll be
And
honest,
then
that's
this
not why, but I
really
didn't I didn't
okay.
I didn't know, but that's going to be good for the podcast.
Yeah, I know. I have a lot to say the least, in the little sneak peek. But the second thing is Tron Ares, the sequel or possible prequel to Tron Legacy. They came out with the trailer today, and it looks so freaking cool, and I am
Dude,
so excited to see it.
I am
But
so excited for Tron. I love the Tron Legacy series so much, and I've been dreaming and dying. I'm like, they have to make a second one. They have to. And then everyone's like, no, they won't. Lo and
my
behold,
only,
they
as I
did.
say, the critic reviews I think are what killed it, but the um what's the word?
Yeah, like,
Audience reviews, like they
oh no, you're
were,
good.
I think
You
they
can
were
continue.
overall positive, but I don't know. I actually don't recall like what the audience reviews are. I do know that the critic reviews weren't that great though, unfortunately. But you know what? I go with the audience because you know, the critics are gonna go based off of like, a list. They write down a list of like specific things and that's what they go off of. Like, is there drama, is there romance, is there horror, is there action, like they go off of that kind of list and just, and they give it that kind of review,
Yeah.
like how's the acting, how's the story. So, and at the end of the day I think the story is the most important part, but people can fight me on that all they want because admittedly, uh like the sequel trilogy is a good example. Like good acting, terrible story. Prequel trilogy, terrible acting, great story. Like it's that sort of scenario.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, with Tron Ares though, I'm excited. I know a lot of people aren't a huge fan of Jared Leto, but he's playing the main role as Ares, and I think he looks cool. I'm actually excited to see how he plays the character. Not to mention, got a badass name, badass look, and I hope his role is what I think it is. And then, yeah, obviously, like it's taking on the concept of the grid and the real world mixing together, and how they made it look made me change my mind on how I thought about that idea originally, because originally I hated that idea, but after seeing the trailer, I'm all for it. I want to see this happen. So give me Tron Legacy 3, or you know, or Tron Ares in this case. So, but yeah, no, Tron Ares looks sick. But moving on to the actual topic, what do you got for us today, Travis?
It's just mostly DC. I wanted to talk about it because, like, I wanted to talk about our favorite DC characters or our favorite shows or just something about DC that interests us, really, honestly.
No, I like that. Like our favorite things about the DC universe. That's kind of a good, cool topic and take on, because I don't think we've done a video like that. Like I don't think we've done like our favorite things about a specific, genre or topic, or in this case, a franchise. Like I don't think we've done that yet. So I think that's pretty cool. Um, so I guess you should probably start then, because I'm actually curious on like what you kind of had in mind, because like I think I have an idea on what you want me to say, but I want to hear from you to make sure like what you're asking is what I think you're asking, you know?
Like, I like The Flash, I do. But I also like Superman as well. I mean, I like them all. I really like kind of both, but kind of like okay, I just like DC. I like DC and Marvel. I really do. But I can't pick. But I love them both equally. And I like the idea of the Superman movie. I think that's going to be cool. I know a lot of people, some people are like a little skeptical on it, or they don't like it just because of the costume or whatever. That's understandable. It's whatever, like personal preference. But I
Yeah.
think it's gonna be cool because it's comic book accurate. They're bringing back like the whitey tidy look. I like that. Um, I also kind of like I grew up loving the Superman Returned movie and Smallville,
Oh,
which
yeah,
are
yeah.
both really cool. So I like the aspect. Like it's just, I hope like it's gonna be cool with what they're gonna do, bringing in a whole bunch of like cooler DC characters and whatnot, and Crypto, which I'm really excited to see Crypto. Um, just I hope they don't try shoving so much into this movie that is too overwhelming and it doesn't make sense. You know?
Yeah, like jam packing it with like all these references, and possibly just like an overall like not steady story. But like I mean, okay, I will say this. If you enjoy the either Guardians of the Galaxy movies, or even the newer or the Suicide Squad movie, then I think we'll all enjoy the Superman movie. That's all I'll say, is like that's the direction it'll go, because
Okay.
directed by the same guy. And I will say the only thing I'm skeptical about, because of the sneak peek. We haven't gone over it yet because you didn't know about it, and I kind of assumed that's why we were talking about it. But I think it is important to talk about it because of like what DC's trying to do, or at least what the director of DC, can't I always forget his name, director of Guardians of the Galaxy, director of Suicide Squad, him,
Okay.
James Gunn. There we go,
Okay.
James Gunn. Um, he, how do I put this? Like he can do serious stuff, but a lot of it is very, you know, raunchy humor and stuff like that. And like that's my only worry. And I feel like that is the direction that at least some parts of the movie will take, um, based off of the sneak peek that we got, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I do agree with you on like why you like DC. You know, like I also really like The Flash. I started liking it because of the Justice League animated series. Like he was one of my favorite characters. He resembled, at least personality wise, a lot like Spider Man,
Hmm.
and that was one of my favorite parts of The Flash and everything. Um, then they had the TV show with Grant Gustin, and
My
there's
favorite.
rumors of him, yeah, and there's rumors of him returning as the Flash for the DCU, and I would absolutely love that. But that would probably mean that the Flash we are gonna get is probably gonna end up being Wally West, and Barry Allen will still be a version of the Flash. But he won't be the main version of the Flash. Like maybe he'll be Barry Allen, but uh, Wally West will be the main Flash of the universe. That's my guess at least because Grant Gustin is a lot older.
Yeah.
He still looks young, but he is an older actor and or not older, like he's not an elder, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah,
He's
he's
like
an
in his
older pick for someone who
40s, I
should be
think.
playing a younger role. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, I wouldn't mind him being main character Flash or mentor Flash because I think at the end of the day, if we got him to come back and reprise his role, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Um, But then, yeah, Superman, I've had a huge dilemma with Superman. Like, not as of late. I think as of late, I'm like, I do like Superman as a character.
Like, yes,
Sorry, there's a
like
lot of talking out there.
you're good.
So
Don't
I keep
worry.
muting myself. But, so with Superman, as a kid, I grew up loving Superman because I liked the light-hearted characters. I again, like Spider-Man, and Superman is the symbol of hope. He was the guy that brings peace. He brings that symbol of hope. He's the hero. He's the guy that everyone looks up to. He's not like this thing like Batman where like he's based in darkness or like has a dual personality. Like he's Boy Scout, both Clark Kent and Superman, but just different personalities. Like Clark Kent's the clumsy, guy that messes up a lot, and Superman's the heroic, confident guy. The
Yeah.
same with like Spider-Man. Like Peter Parker's the clumsy, nerdy. Guy, and then Spider-Man's the cool, funny guy, that everyone looks up to and, you know, is amazed by. So it's things like those that was one of the reasons why I did like Superman. And then my vision of Superman slowly kind of twisted with both Zack Snyder's version, it being a lot darker. Now, I'm not saying I hate Zack Snyder's Superman. I'm not saying that. I loved Henry Cavill as Superman, and I thought the Man of Steel movie was really sweet. But it twisted it a little to where I was like, well, is Superman, like full on good guy? Like he's got godlike abilities, a godlike complex, but at the end of the day, he chose to be like a human morally. Um, but then you got games like Injustice where it tells a different story, like one mess up and then, Superman becomes evil, like Lois Lane
Yeah.
and his unborn son or whatever was killed by himself, being tricked by the Joker. So it's things like those that makes me like, kind of have a lesser appreciation of the character. And it's not because, he has like a darker half. It's the fact that he has godlike powers and can use that dark side to like the worst of his abilities. Like he can wreak havoc on the entire earth if he wanted to, just like out
Hmm.
of nowhere. And that's what I hate. Like if you're gonna make a powerful character, like just don't make him overpowered unless it's like the villain, because in my opinion, overpowered villains are the cool ones.
Yeah.
Overpowered heroes, however, they're supposed to be the underdogs. They're supposed to be the ones that everyone can look up to and rely on and relate with. Whereas the villains, they shouldn't be looked up as these you know idols, I guess, but some people do. Some people actually like the villains compared to other people. So I don't know. I uh I will say
Like,
though, I hope this Superman's a little bit more vulnerable. Like, yes, he can still be bulletproof and everything, but if a character like, I don't know, Aquaman or Wonder Woman, they can punch him and send him flying instead of like them punching him and he's still standing there, Like
yeah, a
he
weakness.
has yeah, exactly. Like it's not just kryptonite, like he's vulnerable even with you know, superhuman strength and invulnerability. Like he can be bulletproof, that's fine cuz like he should be above ordinary criminals like, robbers or, bank robbers or whatever. But when it comes to like godlike heroes or villains, I feel like he should, be at a disadvantage in some ways. Like he doesn't have to be completely helpless, but like the DC animated Justice League show, he could be punched by Solomon Grundy, which is basically a zombie version of the Hulk,
Yep.
and be knocked back, or he could be like crushed or whatever by Grundy. Like he could take, or he couldn't take the hit. Like he gets knocked back. But then, like in Man of Steel, it took another Kryptonian to even get on that level. And yes, even Doomsday, I would consider a Kryptonian because he was like part Zod, and I know he's not that in the comics, but that's just an example. Is like they made it so like only another Kryptonian or a Kryptonite could stop Superman. So
Yeah.
just nerf him to the point where he's strong, but he's beatable. Like, and I wouldn't mind, you know, if uh we got a little bit of a god complex with Superman because, if or god complex, I mean like if people looked up to him as like not exactly like a religious savior, but like just a hero that, people could rely on, like he can literally fly, he's invulnerable to like basically everything. Um but then could probably get beaten up by like, you know, maybe yeah, again, Wonder Woman or Aquaman,
Like
some
if
other
it
people with superhuman strength.
like in the trailer, it did show him beat up. Like it showed him in the snow, like and like he couldn't fly away. Like he was so beat that he couldn't fly anywhere. And like Crypto came and saved him. Like he said, "Take me, like let's go home," and he took him home. Types like it literally showed him not in his full capacity. So I think you might get what you're looking for, honestly.
Oh yeah, no, that's exactly why I'm excited for the new Superman is because it's exactly yeah, like you were saying, it's exactly what I'm looking forward to. Like, and that sounds bad, but I like vulnerable heroes. Like, it's just realistic that way, Like, I
Yeah.
mean, in real life, obviously, and then comparing it to, an alien from a different planet that looks like a human, but literally has the power to throw a whole building over. But you get my point. Like, it's a matter of, the characters and the morals and standards they have that inspire me. Like Invincible in the show Invincible. I've seen clips of it, but he's got a good heart, and that's what makes him such a good hero. Like, sure, he's invincible, quote unquote, but he can also be beaten to a pulp and still hold on to those morals. Like, I mean, it's when, someone he loves gets harmed that where he's like ready to cross the line, but there could be people that could beat him and stop him and show him like, hey, this is wrong. Like, you need to take a step back. So, like, if we saw that with Superman, like, if Lois Lane got hurt or something and he tries to do something stupid, like, Wonder Woman or Aquaman could stop him,
Oh yeah.
or, like, one of the main villains could stop him still, like, and because he'd be blinded by rage, but, because, like, if something like that happened to Henry Cavill's Superman, he would immediately kill the bad guy. Like he just like no stopping him. He's so overpowered.
Oh yeah.
And people can argue with me like, well, that's a lot of comics of Superman. He's literally invincible, and I'm like, yeah, but like earlier comics and like I think some modern comics, like he's a lot more beatable, and
Yeah,
that
more
makes him
vulnerable. Yeah.
interesting. That makes him more exciting to watch because it's like, sure, we can see him like win time and time again, but to make the story interesting, I think he needs to be beaten first, and then he realizes like how to win, and sometimes it's just all a good heart. Like, and people can meme or joke about it all they want, but even in like Naruto's such a powerful character, but he doesn't know how to use that power at the start, and when he learns to use that power, he's still vulnerable, but he also has this good person or like morality of like, okay, like I can talk the bad guy out of being bad. And I actually liked that a lot. I know a lot of people like joke about it cuz it's like, oh, they're in the middle of a fight and then he like throws down some morals and all of a sudden the villain is no longer the villain, Like people can joke about that all they want, but I don't know. I kind of like that because it's almost like a hostage negotiation, like a cop trying to talk a criminal out of doing something stupid that they'll have to live with for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Whereas, like a hero and a villain thing, I feel like Superman would be the one to talk first and then fight later. Like he'll
100%.
try and talk the villain out of doing something wrong, and then if they choose to do it wrong anyways, he has the power to stop them. Same with like Spider-Man. Like those are my favorite characters. Like I don't get me wrong, I love the straight to action stuff too. I do. I love, seeing fight scenes and everything, but it's when the villain is unreasonable because that makes sense. Like if the villain surrenders and they still beat the crap out of him, it's like, okay, so what was the point of talking him out of it? Like they're
Yeah.
just gonna want to do it again after you, beat him into the ground.
Yeah, that's exactly what
So,
they wanted. Yeah.
so, yeah, no, I like I like and hope this new version of Superman. Like even James Gunn gave me hope when he did the quote of like how Superman's the symbol of peace and hope, and you know. So I really look forward to it.
I'm curious on who all they're gonna bring into it. Like we've seen
So
Hawk. Is that Manhawk or
it's
is
Hawk
it
Girl.
Hawk Girl? Okay, because I know there's a male version.
Yeah, there's
Um,
Hawkman and Hawk Girl,
I
but
was really
the
hoping
one
for
that's in
Hawkman, but
the yeah, the one in the movie is going to be Hawk Girl. They also have one of the Green Lanterns. His name is Guy Gardner. There's Mr. Terrific, who's like super smart, and then there's who else did they had? Hawk Girl, Green Lantern, Mr. Terrific. I think there was a couple more, but yeah, basically, from what we can tell at least, they're a part of like this superhero organization where they're seen as like celebrities and stuff,
mm,
but they have to work for like that company or government or whatever it is
so like the
to,
boys.
yeah, but they're still like actually good. It's just like, if one of them steps out of line, they're like, okay, well, and a lot of people think like Superman will be like, well, that's morally not right and we shouldn't do this or whatever. And he'll like reject whatever they have, and the agency or whatever will probably sick the other heroes on Superman, and that's probably how he gets beat up is he probably tries to escape but gets like thrown around by the other heroes. That's a lot of people's theories, and I would actually really like that idea cuz it wouldn't even be the main villain. It would be the other heroes, or like maybe like Lex Luthor is a villain and Superman's trying to expose that, but maybe like he's one of the heroes agency's like greatest providers, like he provides them with the equipment and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
so the government doesn't want to, expose him, which again is morally incorrect, and the heroes other heroes don't care because they're like, well, we have all this great stuff to do good, so what does it matter if a bad person, gives us that stuff or something? Like, I'm hoping for something like that. I'm hoping for a twist like that because, like what James Gunn basically said is Superman is the symbol of like good and hope and like what it means to be a hero. And at the end of the day, it's choice. It's like what makes a hero is choice.
Yeah.
Because like Spider-Man, like a good example of that is he made a choice. It was a bad one, and that was at the cost of his uncle's life. And once he realized that, he took his uncle's lesson to heart, which was with great power comes great responsibility, and he finally used that power like how he think his uncle would, which would be a hero to help people. Whereas, like someone like maybe I don't know, I'm not even going to use specific names, but he could have easily just been the villain. Like he could have sought out revenge against the criminal. And granted, Tobey Maguire's version of that did, but in the
Yeah.
comics, he didn't kill the guy. In the comics, he was arrested, and same with like a lot of normal iterations. He never actually killed the bad guy, and I wouldn't even say like Spider-Man killed the guy in the Tobey Maguire one because he fell, but
I was about to say, Tobey Maguire also did technically kill his own, like he killed the guy, not by a choice. I mean, like he scared him to the point where the guy fell out the window. Like that's not your fault.
yeah, and I
Like
mean
you
he even
can't
brings that
control
up
that.
in Spider-Man 3, I think. So, yeah, no, I wouldn't say that's entirely his fault, no, but like he could have easily saved the guy too, which he does in I think the spectacular Spider-Man version where the guy falls out the window and he webs his leg to make sure he doesn't fall and die. So, he could have easily done that probably, but yeah, no, I'm pretty excited to see what they do in terms of like actually showing, you know, what it means to be a hero and everything. And, again, like that's what Superman is the symbol of. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I
like
trust or sorry, go ahead.
it's not Superman topic wise, but like I just don't think we need another um Aquaman movie. Like we have enough. Like we don't need more, you know? Like it's
I'm
fine.
sure I'm sure they will eventually do another Aquaman movie, but it probably will either be a collab movie where like he's not just by himself, or maybe I don't know, just like speculating here because Warner Brothers saw how bad Aquaman did in the box office, and they're like, okay, let's not do that again. So
Yeah.
maybe. But I
Like
feel like James Gunn does want to do Aquaman at some point because, he said he's rebuilding the DC universe. But we'll see. Oh, dang it. But, uh, what else, like, in terms of DC? Because, like, you also said, like, what we like about DC, because there's also characters like Batman, which I do like. They kind of cross this moral barrier of, like, okay, well, you know, sure, there is the good guy and doing the good thing, but Batman borderline, like, tortures, and scares his foes,
yeah.
whereas, like, Superman's just like, I have this power to intimidate you. But a lot of villains know, like, well, he won't cross that line, but Batman would, like. But
Yeah.
I do love that dynamic, and I hope that's exactly how the movies will go. Like, Batman won't have at least a lot of humor or lightheartedness. It'd be mostly like, The Dark Knight, or even I would even give the example of The Batman by Robert Pattinson's Batman.
Oh,
So
okay, yeah.
So like if they go that dark for the DCU Batman, I'd love that cuz
Hmm.
it gives us two sides of the same coin. You got like Superman, the bright, happy, hopeful character, and then you got Batman, the dark, vengeful character. So like give us that duality because they're also like really good friends in the comics even if like, Batman doesn't want to admit it, but like he respects Superman, like he
They
looks
rely
up to
with each other.
Superman.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think he's admitted in many iterations that like Superman is what I could never be. Is like he was the
Yeah.
symbol of hope. He was more human than I ever was, like he has a social life, he has a love life, he has stability, he has a job, like and then Batman's just living off of his wealth and living off of, whatever the company can provide for him.
Yeah.
Whereas Superman, like, even with all his power, he chooses to work for his normal social life or whatever to feel normal, like to feel human. And I love that about Superman. So,
So
again, like, people can debate me on, like, what iteration's better. And, there's nothing wrong with liking Zack Snyder's, you know, Superman or Batman or any of his universe,
yeah.
but I felt like it was just all Batman, like the
Hmm.
whole universe felt like Gotham, whereas you need to separate the good and the bad or the light and the dark, like and it doesn't even have to be that way. Like yes, you can have like the light hero enter the gray area sometimes and you can have the dark character enter the gray area sometimes, but at the end of the day, it's just like, how to theme the actual story and characters and environment and, atmosphere to make the stories interesting, to divide them. Like Wonder Woman, I think would be a good example of like in the middle. I think she leans a little bit more towards the light, but she's a warrior at heart. So I feel like her kind of having a dark side makes sense. So you know, I would like to see a really good Wonder Woman iteration, and then Aquaman. I don't know. I don't know how his you know comic book counterpart is, but I do know. Like I think a lot of people compared Aquaman to Black Panther a lot, and I think that would probably be the best example I could come up with is like kind of a like what's the word? Like, I don't know. I keep blanking, but basically what I'm trying to say is like he has a different culture. Like
Oh, different
they kind
morals and
of
stuff.
well, like yeah, like in Black Panther, like they have different traditions and culture stuff. Like that's what made Black Panther interesting was like that side of everything. Like at the end of the day, he was a king and a good man, but like he it also like explored the culture and the vibrance of his culture through like Wakanda and everything like that. Like it made it so interesting and fun to watch. And I
Yeah.
love like I love the first Black Panther movie. I like the second one because it also explored basically their version of Aquaman, which was Namor, and I thought that
Hmm.
was really cool. I didn't love it, but I did like it. Like I think it was very interesting, and I liked seeing that side of everything. And I hope that's kind of what they do with Aquaman. Like they don't have to do it exactly like that, but fall under the territory of make it different from the others. And then again, like Flash, he would probably be the light-hearted comedy version. Like he'd be like the Spider-Man of the group. He'd be the one that, cracks a dumb joke that may make some of them laugh and some of them annoyed, but also glad like, hey, at least it's not super doom and gloom or too super optimistic. Like it's more of like the sarcastic, like quippy side rather than like the Boy Scout Superman side, Like good but not the best, in
Yeah.
terms of everything else. So again, like they have a great cast of characters that they can work with and everything. They just need to do it right and again, I trust James Gunn with everything he's done for both Marvel and DC. I just hope it's not too much like his other projects. Like it's not too much like Suicide Squad or Guardians of the Galaxy or whatever have you. Like, cause I'll bring it up now. But the Superman, it was a 4 minute clip, and in that clip we got was the scene of Superman injured and Crypto coming to help him. So he
Yeah.
whistles for Crypto and he comes, but it's not the full, or we don't see the full scene in the trailer where he just like grabs his cape. So in the actual movie, he jumps all over Superman while he's injured. So he acts like a dog, like he's all playful, he's lovable, but at the end of the day, he's actually hurting Superman more. And
But he doesn't even
Superman's like,
realize
oh, Crypto, please. Yeah, exactly. Like, he's innocent. Like, he doesn't, he's
Yeah.
a dog. He doesn't know better. So, but, finally he calms down and then he obeys Superman and takes him home and helps him out. And I liked that. Like, I liked it, but I also was worried, like, okay, but don't fall too much under the humor side of things. Like, it can be funny, but don't make that the base of Superman because at the end of the day, like, Superman's like Captain America, like where he's, a symbol of hope, but he can also like have along with the optimism some seriousness.
Yeah.
Whereas the Flash, like he leans into the humorous side of things to keep like an optimistic or bright perspective on things, like to calm his nerves or whatever. Like in a more simplified way of saying it, I guess. But yeah, I don't know. I want to see that diversity because if it's all just the same, because at the end of the day, James Gunn is the head director of DC now. So anything that he doesn't like will not happen, basically. So like
Mm.
if someone comes to him with a script and he doesn't like it, it will get the no. It'll get the down vote. They won't do it. But if, he does like it, like, yeah, he's gonna, approve it. It's gonna get filmed and then it's gonna get casted and whatever. Like it's that kind of thing that worries me because it gives a lot of one person power. And yes, like one vision should be, how a lot of these things are. But, at the end of the day, it really does come down to whatever James Gunn agrees to or approves, I guess.
Okay, so my question is, do you think we're going to see Batman in it? And if we do you think he's going to be the Robert Pattinson version, or is it going to be a different Batman?
So I think we have finally confirmed that it is not Robert Pattinson, which is unfortunate because I actually really liked Robert Pattinson. And I think if anyone was to kickstart the DC universe, it would have to be Superman or Batman. And I think like even when I was like even when they announced that Zack Snyder's DC was no longer canon and they were going to start over and then they released The Batman and it was like one of the coolest movies ever. I was like, "Okay, that's got to be their version of Iron Man, like Iron Man was the kickstart to the or to the Marvel universe. Like personally, if I wrote the Marvel universe, I would have done Captain America first. Oh wait, there you go. But like I think it's pretty cool that it is Superman as well cuz Superman is technically the first superhero ever like in existence as well. So
Really?
like yeah, or at least I think so. That's what I remember looking up. And because of that, um, like him being the first of the DCU would also make sense too. Like I wouldn't have a problem if, Robert Pattinson wasn't like the Batman of the DCU, but I'd also like really like that at the same time. Like I'm like, cause I know a lot of people want the guy from Supernatural. I think he would make a solid Batman. He's voice
Oh,
acted
he
as
would do really
Batman
good.
before.
Yeah.
Another great actor. I think he's in Reacher. I think it is or whatever. I don't
Oh,
remember.
Alex. I know his first name's
Uh,
Alex. Is he the bigger like muscular guy?
and he's got like blonde hair,
Hmm.
kind of a beard going. He
Yeah.
also voiced Raphael in the Michael Bay Ninja Turtle movies. I think he would make a great Batman, and he even said in an interview like he would play Batman for free, like he'd love to be Batman.
He's such a humble
So
guy in real life. Like he's so like he has a $6 million worth net worth, but he spends
mhm.
most of his money helping like charities out, like veterans and children's hospitals and stuff like that. Like he spends most of the money he gets helping like charities like that, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, no, that is. And like I mean, I feel like that just kind of goes along the line of, Bruce Wayne, like where Bruce Wayne, at least in the Christian Bale version, literally opens an orphanage through his own like family's home, like at
Yeah.
the end of The Dark Knight Rises. So, yeah, no, I would definitely love to see a Bruce Wayne like that where like there is a light side to him, but like the superhero side is undeniably the dark side of him. Like, like we see light and dark in him, but at the end of the day he chooses dark to, personify the Batman. So, yeah, no,
Like
I would really like that.
I'm nervous too at the same time because like I like the DC characters that we had. Like I didn't terribly hate the Injustice series movie. Like it was all right, but it also had its like moment. But I just like the most reason why I didn't really like is because who they brought in for the Flash. I hate him as the Flash
Oh, Ezra
personally.
Miller.
Yeah, personally, not my favorite. I could 100% go without ever knowing that he's the Flash. Um, but it's fine. I mean, it's still a cool DC movie. I like it. I love darker movies because I grew up with horror movies. So I grew up
Yeah, and
like in
that
like the darker side of movies. So like I love like when movies like especially like movies with superheroes can get dark. I like that because it shows the darker side. It's because I'm so used to like seeing the light sides of superheroes. It's like, oh, I'm a nitty good person and I want to do this and that, but like it shows like their true strength. It shows like how far they can go. It shows like what they can do to people. You know, it shows their true aspects, and I love it.
yeah, no, and I definitely get that. Like the very like down to earth if a lot of the people that actually did have powers would actually be like that. Like I definitely get that. And I get the realism behind that. And I think that's why I really liked No Way Home, like at the end where like Tom Holland really wanted to kill like Green Goblin for killing Aunt May because he just had that, like the woman that raised and loved him like get killed right in front of him, and there was nothing he could do about it. Like I like that his emotions are relatable, but also like what makes him a hero is holding back. Like at the end of the day, it was inevitably Tobey Maguire Spider-Man who's like, don't make the same mistake I did, where I killed my father's murderer, or at least thought I did, or
Yeah.
uncle's murderer. But yeah, no, like I definitely get the whole like seeing that more human side than anything. And I mean, I think that's at the end of the day like what Superman is like he's an alien with power, but he's a human at heart because he was raised by human parents that loved and cherished him and taught him great morals and standards. So like yes, he's the light side, but it's also really based on like who raises you. Like so for like Batman, he lost both his parents, and it was his butler at the end of the day who was his father figure, who he asked him to teach him how to fight and do detective work, and he has all these resources to become a hero, so he does that. But at the end of the day, he chooses like a more darker path where like it's not as relatable, but or at least not as admirable as like Superman, where, he has all that power and chooses a much wiser and calmer approach on things.
Yeah.
But, like, again, one relatable thing to another. Like, it's honestly kind of cool to see both sides of the coin. Like, again, the same coin. Like, they're both heroes, but one chooses light, one chooses dark. And I mean, I think they even kind of say that in the Batman versus Superman film. They say something along those lines. So,
Like,
but
I don't know. I'm excited for where DC's gonna go. Like, I'm glad they're starting to do stuff with it. I'm glad that it's gonna be like a new like I'm glad it's under new eyes. Like, it's under new organization. Like, it's under new people who can make it better. Like,
I was gonna say who can keep it organized, because I agree with you. Like, I think that was DC's problem, is they didn't have a one head mindset. Like, they didn't have a single person running the show or keeping it organized or whatever. So I agree with you there, because like that's essentially what James Gunn is he's Kevin Feige of DC. And Kevin Feige's the organizer, he's the planner, he's the one, like, you know, approving or signing off on things. And now, because of that, like, we have a whole series of films that are still going, almost like an old show like The Simpsons or SpongeBob, that, episodes are still coming out, but for us, it's movies that are still coming out and are still going with, Doomsday and Secret Wars
yeah,
and Spider-Man 4. Like, those are all, and hell, even Daredevil. Like, that is, like, Daredevil and Spider-Man are the two ones I'm the most excited for, but like the planning and the process, it's exciting to look forward to, basically. But we are unfortunately out of time, though. That was a really fun topic, though. I loved talking a lot about DC because, like, I mean, again, DC's just one of those, or superheroes in general are just one of those interesting topics to talk about, because uh heck, it even aligns with what your topic's about, is what we're excited for or what we enjoyed about it. And, almost kind of the opposite, like, what are we not excited for? What are we scared for? Or what are we, like, what did we not like? So, and obviously, like, no person or individual who watches or listens to this who probably works for DC, if ever, is going to look at this and be like, okay, we can take their opinions and apply it to, like, our franchise. I'm
yeah,
like, no, I expect there to be disappointments. I expect there to be, like, not 100% perfect, like with Spider-Man No Way Home. Like, one of my smaller gripes was his suit. I really wish they, at the very end of the movie, or I mean, not very end, but like nearing the end, is when he got his red and blue suit, like his more classic look. I like that's the flaw, I would say, is in that movie. And then the missed opportunity to do the Sinister Six when there was only like five of them. Like, it's small things like that kind of nag at me, but like, at the end of the day, those are just small gripes and, imperfections in my opinion. Because, like, I know people who like the sequel trilogies of Star Wars. I know people who hate the prequel trilogy. Like, heck, I know people who hate this original trilogy, which blows my mind. Like,
that's
so there,
nuts.
yeah. So there's, opinions will be differed. Like, and no one's gonna have the same opinion. Not everyone's gonna love or agree on anything. But I think it's the fans that gather together and kind of cooperate with one another. That's the thing to look forward to the most, is like enjoying the company of those that you do agree with, and maybe even some disagreements. Like, like maybe one person will hate one part of the film, whereas you probably love that part of the film. Like, at the end of the day, it's just opinions and whatever have you. Like, but at the end of the day, I am excited. Superman. Well, yes, excited for Superman, but excited for the future of DC. Um, There's obviously rumors like if Superman flops, that's just kind of like the end for DC. I highly
Yeah.
doubt that, and I highly doubt like again James Gunn will fail. So like all you people who were like terrified of that happening, just calm the hell
Yeah.
down.
It's not gonna
So
happen.
yeah, but yeah. Other than that, guys, oh yeah, you do the outro.
I mean, if you want to do it, go for it. I mean, I don't mind.
Your episode, me boy, your episode.
All right, me boy. All right. Well, everybody, hope you did truly enjoy. I will shout out him before I shout out myself because it sounds greedy. But if you guys haven't already checked out his YouTube channel, I highly recommend it. He hasn't as uploaded as much, but he's been really busy, so cut him some slack. Don't be on his ass about it in the comments. But he does make really cool content. It's really fun and enjoyable. I watch it all the time to like boost my confidence or like make me like smile, and it's really cool. But anyways, it's multi hyphen might. Don't forget the hyphen. It's actually really important.
Damn right.
Um, but you're already here on his Twitch, so you might as well just drop a follow. I mean, if you're watching for an hour and you haven't, you might as well. I mean, if you enjoy it this much, we're gonna keep making more. So, um, me on the other hand, I have a YouTube channel. I don't usually use all that much because I don't know how to properly upload or download my content. But I do stream quite often. On here, I stream lots of Let's Play videos or not videos, games, I guess, whatever. I
Most
play
likely.
like, yeah, I play like Assassin's Creed. I'll occasionally play Fortnite. Sometimes Rocket League or Batman. I want to start playing more Batman. Or I'll play Harry Potter. I play lots of single player games, more story based than like battle royale type based games. But anyways, less being said, hope you guys did enjoy, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.
See
Peace.
ya.